There's something special about Taylor County, from Steinhatchee to San Pedro Bay. It's easy to see why we choose to call this place home. Our largest city, Perry, still has all the charms of living in a small town. It's a place where people tend to know their neighbors. Yet right down the road from Perry is a neighbor that touches the lives of people the world over every single day. And this neighbor isn't new. They've been a part of our community for over 50 years. Buckeye, Florida manufactures specialty cellulose, a wood-based fiber used in everything from food additives to sunglasses to diapers. Almost 3/4 of the world's hot dog casings start with Buckeye's product. So do the air and oil filters used in most cars on the road today. Yet, it's a safe bet you don't think about how much you rely on Buckeye and the plant they run right here in Taylor County. While they're important to the world, Buckeye is also a major part of our local economy as well, creating over 1,000 jobs for Taylor County residents and putting $50 million into the community each year.
It created jobs for our young boys and girls, and they paid their equal share of taxes in this community, and they've just been good neighbors and good people.
I grew up being fed and clothed by Buckeye, and again, as a veterinarian, I would not be here without Buckeye, so they have been a good neighbor and a good influence on this community.
In the late 40s, the Florida legislature declared the Fenholloway an industrial river as an incentive to attract manufacturing businesses to Taylor County. By the early 50s, ground was broken on the cellulose plant. Since then, our view on how to protect the environment has changed. We now want the Fenholloway to be more than just an industrial river. We want a river that can be enjoyed for recreation. The Buckeye plant has changed as well over the years, spending $85 million in the past 17 years to meet the criteria set by the state of Florida for recreational water quality. And these changes have made a real difference. Seagrasses are making a comeback at the mouth of the river, and fishermen have noticed the difference.
You know, there's the old saying, you want speckled bottom for speckled trout. So you like to see seagrass and some sand, and seagrass and some sand, you know, just that mixture. And if you've got that mixture, you usually do real well with trout fishing. And that mixture is there. There's plenty of seagrass out there.
Although they've achieved 64 of the 71 criteria set out for recreational waters, Buckeye isn't done yet. And in the coming years, they'll spend another $58 million more to meet those last 7 criteria. Unfortunately, there is no one-step solution to meeting recreational standards in the Fenholloway. Press reports have focused mostly on a planned pipeline, but that's just one part of a 4-part project to improve the river and the Gulf. The solution has been developed and verified through numerous studies conducted during the last decade, which involved the top scientists in the country. The last phase of achieving recreational water quality standards will include additional major improvements to the pulp-making process, major improvements to the water treatment system, enhancement of over 6,700 acres of the wetlands in San Pedro Bay, and finally, after the other improvements are complete, a pipeline that will remove the plant's wastewater from the freshwater portion of the river. These 4 steps will achieve water quality standards while sustaining an important local business that will continue to provide work for many of our neighbors. With change comes uncertainty, and folks are asking some good questions. A big one is whether the pipeline phase of the project will harm the Gulf. The project will improve both the river and the Gulf. First, the treated wastewater that leaves the plant today already reaches the Gulf through the Fenholloway River. The river works basically like a pipeline today. The river provides essentially no treatment to the wastewater as it carries it to the Gulf. What leaves the plant's wastewater system shows up at the mouth of the river. Years of studies show that the river itself doesn't remove saltiness or color, nor does it increase the oxygen levels in the wastewater as it travels to the Gulf. This is why additional major improvements will be made to Buckeye's manufacturing process and wastewater treatment. These improvements will meet all recreational standards in the saltwater portion of the lower river and will lead to further improvements in the Gulf. But these improvements alone will not meet all recreational standards on the freshwater portion of the Fenholloway. That's where the last phase of improvement comes in. Only after the improvements have been achieved to meet the standards in the saltwater portion of the lower Fenholloway will the pipeline be built to address the freshwater portion of the river. With the pipeline, the wastewater from the plant will be removed from the freshwater portion of the river entirely, while the quality of the Gulf will remain at newly improved levels. The pipeline will not change the water quality in the Gulf at all. Buckeye's commitment to the Fenholloway and the Gulf has been a success story of how a company can improve the environment and still thrive as a business. But there is still work left to be done. The current projects being permitted by the state are just the last steps of completing a $142 million commitment to restoring the Fenholloway River. When they're done, all 71 of the state's water quality criteria will be met, and Buckeye will be able to continue providing valuable jobs and products for years to come.